Alright guys, big welcome to you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Map, and we are back with more videos from the Raging Tactics for the reveals for Spike with us. This is part 6. We have covered up a lot of cards and you guys have been enjoying our videos. We also have made 2 videos to talk about how the Spike with us deck would look like. And on the second video, it's a very interesting video. If you haven't seen that yet, you can check it out on our channel, and the link will also be in the description section below. It's a video where we talk about the deck, how it looks like, and also how it functions. So also what you want to write, how you want to call them, make the column, and also the reason why the deck is so amazing. Alright, so the cards we have already covered is the VR. We have covered the 1 triple rare. In this video we'll cover the second one, and then 2 double rares, a bunch of commons and rares. And in each card we talked about, like even the critical trigger, we talked about it, and even like the reprints of the starter and the draw and everything. Alright, for this video we'll talk about our second and last triple rare of the set, which is Powerback Renaldo. This card is, I know I say it a lot, but this card is so good, but it's not broken. I will tell you why. First, read his skill. Alright, so when this card is placed from hand, most important detail is when he's placed from hand on Vanguard circle or Vanguard circle, doesn't matter. You pay the cost, which is a counter blast of 1, and you put a card from your hand to the soul. Then, you look at the same number of cards from the top of your deck as your grades, and you may call up to 3. And then you put the rest in the bottom of your deck in any order that you like. Okay, first, the art. Ooh, the art is so damn good. Well, I'll tell you how. First, you see the way he's tackling? That's a Rigby tackle. There are different ways to tackle a Rigby. Sometimes, I play Rigby myself, so sometimes when you tackle somebody, you put your shoulder on their leg and you take them down. So you're tackling upwards, down, or you're going low and you tackle them upwards. There are 2 different ways to do them. This guy is taking the knee in the chest, so it doesn't do him anything, and he's tackling him in the upper body, not above the shoulder, which is illegal, which really doesn't matter for Spikewords, but he's tackling him from down under upwards, and he's taking him with him. So he's not stopping because he's not going down. He's taking him with him, and you can see a bunch of guys in the background who are falling around. So this is not the first one that he tackled, or he already tackled him and he's carrying him and he's going through. He doesn't even have a ball or something. He doesn't really give a shit about the ball. He's just taking the guy down and destroying him and going through the whole team with him carrying that guy. You also see somebody in the front, like he's falling or afraid to go in there. So the art, amazing. Make me think a little bit about the G Spike, but also a lot from the V series. So it's really good art, and I hope that we get this in SP. Then we talk about the uses of this card. Well, it gets 5 from 5 because I think that you could use him in each and every deck, and I will talk about it in a minute, in standard and in premium. Then we have the skill. It's also 5 from 5. I can't give him lower than that because, well, yeah, he only works when you call him from hand, but I'm happy he does, because otherwise this card will be broken, and then the minute it come out, it will be banned or something else will be banned, because you can't have a card that works like that and be called from everywhere. So I'm happy it's only one called from hand. Like, it cannot work with Agrius. There are a bunch of cards that you cannot let this card work with, but alright. So why is this card so good, and why does it get 5 from 5? How good is it in standard and how good is it in premium? Alright, first let's talk about the way his skill work. If you ride him or call him in your grade 2 turn, then he's a +1, so it's the same as a Spike Bouncer. If you call him when you're chilling on grade 3 or above, then he's a +2. Very important, Spike are plussing, Spike are getting draw power, and Spike are getting crazy good. Second thing is, he refills the field. One of the problems that I face when I play Spike Wheels in standard is sometimes your opponent kind of destroys all of your good units. Like, retire them when you play against Narukami or Kagero or Shadow Paladins or stuff, or clans that could retire your stuff. They retire your Juggernauts, they retire your Braki, they retire all the Needle, all the cards that you need to have on the field that you could recall, your Wonder Boy, all of those stuff. When you run out of cards in your hand that you want to call, and you have like a bunch of defensive cards or grade 3s that you could ride on next turn, this card could help you refill the field. Especially if you're chilling on grade 3 and you have a bunch of triggers in your hand, then there's a big chance in the top 3 cards of your deck are good cards that you want to call. So that's why this card is really good and standard. Alright, then one more important fact is what will the last double rare do, because it's a grade 3. And if it's a card that calls from hand, then this card will be crazy good. If it's kind of a skydiver, which I don't think that it would be, but let's just leave it at that for that discussion until we get the last card in, which is a double rare, and it's definitely a grade 3. Okay, he also gives you the option to multi-attack in premium. How? First, in the charge deck, you could call this guy. He looks at the top 4 because you're already chilling on grade 3. You call the charge units, you charge them, and you could even call on top of this card. You call your throw grader that you need with your violence ace. You could call a bunch of stuff that you want to use, and you also fill up the soul, which is important. His cost is important because with this card, you're filling up the soul, and with cards like Spike Bouncer, you're emptying up your soul. And with cards like Violence Ace, with cards like Detonate Barrel, with cards like even Tier and Premium, and with Mayhem Tiger, with your Bull Spike, with a lot of different cards, you do need the soul, and this card helps with that. Yes, it's a card from your hand, but again, like with Detonate Barrel, this is the easy way to get him into your soul, so that's perfect if you want to call him from your hand or you already have him on the field and you attack with him. So that's perfect. You could even put a Detonate Barrel from your hand into the soul and try to get one from your deck by using the Renaldo right here. Alright, so in premium, in the aggro deck, he could like call a bunch of stuff, and plus you, if you're chilling on Agrius, you put this card on the field, you counterblast one, you put a card from your hand, and you have a field. You fill up your field because he calls like up to 3 units, and with himself that's 4. By only giving up 1 card from your hand, yeah, okay, including himself, because you also call him from hand, but still, that's amazing to have just a +2, just as easy as that. And some people will say, yeah, but we could call triggers and standard, that's not good. Just put it behind the Vanguard, or call on the top of them, or just put them back to your deck, or recycle them with Wonder Boy, or whatever you want. But you could also just call them boost with them. Still work. It's just an easy plus, and otherwise you could just put them in the bottom of your deck. No problem. Alright, so he'll fill up the soul. He helps with the, let's say, the Agrius turn, before Agrius attacks. He kind of comes very good in comparison with a Spike Bouncer, which is a card that people compare the two. I'm building a lot of Spike decks. I have like more than 12 Spike decks chilling in sleeves, and I run out of Spike Bouncers. So I'm happy that this card kind of does the same, because now you could play the one or the other. You could play both in one deck, but there's no reason to do that. Like in the GB8 builds, I still think that I myself, or most people, would play Spike Bouncer because he's an easy +2. And also, he could leave the field, which is good because you could leave the field, draw a card, and then you open the trigger circle for more attacks with your GB8. But in the other decks, I still see Renaldo being played more in the aggro deck, in the charge deck, that's in premium, in the Bad and Dragger deck. You could still work. You could argue on Spike Bouncer being better because you could like recall him with Mega Instructor, and with that you could check the top 3 or 4 again and call something. Yes, but Renaldo is also amazing. So good in premium, good in standard, makes the trigger lineup interesting in my opinion. Why? Because in the standard deck that you run Bull Spike, if you write Bull Spike, as I explained in the other video, you could have Force 2. People say Bull Spike Force 2, why? Well, easy, because you put so much pressure in that turn already with moving your Force 2 around. And with cards like Ronaldo right here, he's kind of a Soul Charge 1, and he keeps a Soul, which means that to compare him with cards like Spike Bouncer, Ronaldo right here is kind of a Soul Charge 2. So that's really good, because that would mean that if you cannot ride into next turn, you still have Soul to use, because the way that I play the deck right now with Spike Bouncer as a right target and with Printer, which could also come out of the Soul, you sometimes don't even have enough Soul to use with your Bull Spike, because you be at one Soul, which is only the Spike Bouncer. But with Powerback Renaldo right here, you will be having two Soul, which is Ronaldo himself and the card that he soul that he soul charged. So you could have a very good Bull Spike turn without even having to soul charge like a Juggernaut or a Bracky or a Wonder Boy to have that soul. So that's good. Which there were games that I was thinking about rerunning Gyro Slinger, which is a card that I really don't like using. But this card is perfect for the deck. That I tested the deck a lot, the new deck, and I've been waiting for a card like this, and that's why I think this fits really good into the Spike Bullet theme, into the Spike Bullet deck, and I'm very happy that Bushrod made this. Also, in Premium, this card works, again, very good with Violence Ace, with his second ability to call from hand, with his first ability to Soul Blast and give units power. So yeah, Bushi, I think that you did a great job on this card, I have to say it. The only downside to this card is the line that you cannot cross between a card being good, amazing, great, and busted, insane, OP. And that line is when this card is called from hand. So even with that kind of skill, I'm still very happy with the card, and I understand completely that his skill only works if he's called from hand, and I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I would not want it to have it any other way. Alright, that was it about that card. What will we expect soon to have in the set? We have one double rare to go, which in my opinion will be a grade 3. I'm sure of it. It would be something that we could use in Premium, could be something that could work amazing in Standard, could be a caller, like during the battle phase. I don't know about that, but it could be like that, but I expect it to be a card that works good on Vanguard and Rearguard. So I hope so. I hope that we will get a very good grade 3 double rare that could even work good in Premium. Which we have Bull Spike, we have Bed and Dragger, two cards that works amazing in Premium. Even in the Turbo deck, you could like plus a lot from having the Bed and Dragger. You could also kill the irritating Cray Elementals that your opponent have on the field, like Honoli, which works amazing because in Spike you don't really have that retirement power without having to hit, but with Bed and Dragger you could use that. So it's an amazing skill. You could also, like in the Turbo deck, you could also go for Bad and Dragger with Good End, and then you have an extra marker in your first right target, and then you G-guard 3 times because you could go 3 Lioness, and with that you have GB7, and you could still, so you have like the easy extra marker on the field, and you kind of already plus 1 or plus 2, depending on how many Bad and Draggers you could call, because with that, like you could ride, call the Bad and Dragger, and then if you have the double break right, you could also have double markers, and you could do a lot of stuff. So enough about that. I could continue talking for days, but the last rare, in my opinion, will be the PG. I'm sure of it. We all will get that PG when you ride him, you discard something and draw. So I'm not very interested in that, but we will get him anyway. And then the last two commons, I think they could be a grade 3 and a grade 2, but that's wrong what I read in there, because I think it would be a grade 2 and a grade 1. And those grade 2 and a grade 1 will not be counterchargers, they will be vanillas. I hope that we will get a countercharger grade 1, but I don't think that we will get that. They will be just kind of bunch of vanillas that have like the 10k shield, the 10k body grade 2, which I hope we will not get because we already have that. We could have the weak grade 2 that is only a 3k but has the extra crits, like the 2 crit guy. I would love to have that. Another grade 2 that we get, it's the Kagura grade 2 that I have right there, which is only a 7k but a 15k shield. We could have the grade 2 which has no shield but a 12k body. We could have different cards, I don't know. In the grade 1s could be also like the 9k without any shield that even Dimension Police got, which we thought was an Excel thing, but it's not. We could have the protecting like the grade 1, which is very weak but has 15k shield. I don't know, but I think that the last two commons will be something like this, and the last double rare will be very interesting, as the last triple rare was also very interesting. And that's actually it for this video. I'd like to thank you guys all for all the love, the support you give to our channel, and we have been getting a lot of good reviews on the last few videos, especially the one that I made to talk about Spike Brothers as in a deck. Is something that a lot of people requested me to do, because I say how good Spike Brothers are, but I do demonstrate it in results in tournaments. Like you have seen a lot of different tops with my name on it, but especially and only with Spike Brothers. But people do not really see that a lot in action, and it's really good sometimes to give you my thoughts to understand how I use the deck. And now with the new support, I've made a video to talk about the deck that I could use. I've talked also to Sorela, to Axel, which is Crushing Yahagi Kyo, and I tried to talk with Living Proof with his Johnson, but we don't communicate that well. But especially with Axel and Sorela, we have talked about different ways they could build the deck, and especially Axel, Crushing Yahagi Kyo, and me have kind of almost the same playstyle, so it's really nice to have all of those people to talk with, and they're all great Spike Brother players, so I'm very happy to have them around and talk with them sometimes, do some practicing, and it does help a lot. So guys, don't forget, if you want to play Spike Brothers, it's not the easy deck to use. It does look like that, but it's not. The way you make your numbers, the way you recall your units, like your Juggernaut and your Wonder Boy when they switch lanes, I've talked about that and showed you that in the video before. Your opponent would go crazy, how you get the right numbers each time, but there are some easy ways, tricks to do that, and I explained it before. Sometimes like you recall the Juggernaut after or behind your Vanguard, and then like you have the other column which now you could recall stuff, and then you use like the Siegfried skill to recall the Juggernaut in the right spot, because now you empty it, and yeah, it's really good. It's an amazing clan. I'm very happy with my choice from the start for Spike Brothers, and I keep play it, test it, and I do practice a lot. The way that the results come is for practice. People say practice makes perfect. You do need to practice, and with that you will get better results. And that's the way the Spike Brothers work. They are a great clan. You need to practice them well, and you need to make those little pluses that you could get. But it's not little anymore with this set. The pluses are way easier to get, and that's amazing to have like a hand of 12 cards when you're playing and keeping the pressure high, but you still have that amazing hand. So yeah, that's it. I'm very tired. I could go on, but that's it. I would like to thank you guys for watching yet again, and till next time.